Hey everyone, Derek with Tatango.com. I want to talk about something that has been on my mind recently, and that is adoption rate versus ROI. ROI. So this Mobile World Congress 2019, you're going to hear a lot about RCS messaging. And there's really two components that I think are really important. One is adoption rate, so how many consumers can actually interact with an RCS message, how many phones are activated on, with RCS messaging on the phone. But then second, which I think is just as important, and we don't have the information right now, is ROI. So ROI, return on investment. So first off, there's two components to ROI. Return, so that's the results, and then the investment. And that has been something that has been holding back both brands and people just interested in RCS is the investment. The investment is how much is it going to cost to send an RCS message. We have to get this resolved as an industry before we can even look at anything, because if the ROI is too low, the return on investment, or if it doesn't even compete with SMS, then RCS is essentially dead before it even starts. So ROI, return on investment, I'm guessing, just because I know images perform well, just because I know video, rich media, it does perform very well, I'm guessing the return is going to be significantly better than SMS and MMS. That's my guess. Now, that's just without price being factored in. Now, if price gets factored in and hypothetically, let's say, the investment is 5 times the cost, so a cost to send an RCS message is 5 times greater than an SMS or MMS message, then people are just going to stick with SMS or MMS or even go to OTT. It's not going to work because the ROI, is not going to make sense. Now, there are going to be some brands out there that are going to do cool things and they just want to be part of the cool club. They don't care about the ROI. Most of the brands that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, they track ROI down to the per message level. So if they send a message on Friday, the ROI has to make sense for them to continue sending a message on Monday and Wednesday and Friday, whatever their frequency is. So ROI is super important. The one thing we don't know about RCS, I think right now, a lot of people know about the adoption rate, or at least, what they think the adoption rate of the next, few years is going to be. And it's looking positive that, consumers every year, they'll have more of an opportunity to interact with RCS because their phone will be RCS capable. So that's kind of a known. Now, some people think the adoption rate is way too low. Some people are really happy with the adoption rate. But whatever it is, it really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we have to look at ROI. And if the ROI is, very low and the adoption is extremely high, then no one will care about RCS messaging. It won't go anywhere. So the carriers, the aggregators, people like Tatango, we have to come up with a pricing strategy for RCS messaging so that we can help the brands figure out if RCS is going to have the kind of ROI that they're looking for. Because without the ROI, even if the adoption rate is huge, it will not matter. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts are, if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section below. Everyone, hope you're having a great day. And hopefully we get this pricing situation for RCS messaging resolved as soon as possible, really to help the brands.